blessing to be with you once again. My name is Alan C. Paul. I am the host and founder of Guiding Gigs. If you are new to the Consistent Creative Challenge, it's day 4, but maybe you joined in just now. You just said, hey, I got to jump in on this. You're doing an amazing, amazing favor for your creative life. Forgive again, we had the technical issues, and we've got people doing the lawn right beside my window. So we're just going to make it work. We're being consistent. We fight through it. We figure it out. Connection issues, tech issues, lawn guys doing work right next to you, whatever, we'll make it work. We're going to make sure we're here to help you to become consistent in that thing that you have been blessed to do. So if you can hear me okay, if you're watching, go ahead and let me know with either a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me how you're feeling today after 4 days of working on the consistent creative challenge. Tell me, how are things going? How is it going with you? So I'll be able to check in with you and see your comments here. If you are watching on the Facebook group, then you will need to make sure that you go to that chat link I have there, and you can put your name in there and then ask for permission or give Facebook permission to show your name. I can barely read this because it's so small on my phone that I switched. Oh, it's Will. What's going on? Good to see you, brother. Welcome back again, man. Good to see you this morning. It's been a really, really amazing week. We are now on day 4 of this challenge. Um, I've gotten just so much uh, momentum out of this. It is absolutely like supercharging me. It's making me think different, making me feel different. And I've seen a lot of creatives that have been sharing in the chat, have been sharing great ideas with each other on how to make themselves and make this community even more productive. Hopefully, you guys can again hear me okay because I'm just like fighting through hearing the lawnmower right outside. Like it's always right on time. Whenever I start my live streams, the AC comes on, the stream technical stuff starts glitching, and then there'll be like all the things, and somebody will come and decide to do a weed whacker right next to me. Good morning. First day joining from NC. I'll catch up to review the content. I watched the IG video yesterday and was inspired. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I do believe I saw you pop up in our newsletter and joined us yesterday in the group. So thank you for joining me. I have to, Pamela. I think this is Pamela. If this is Pamela, awesome. Thank you for joining us. So it is amazing to have more people. I did go live on IG. I was like, man, like I have not done any IG stuff. I've been doing all Facebook and all YouTube. Haven't given any love to the IG audience. And yeah, you can go back. All these videos will be there. And you also will get a recap at the end of this. You'll get all 5 lessons. You'll get all 5 videos, everything connected with this challenge, and you'll get access to the bonus offer for our other coaching programs that will continue throughout the year. So you're right on time. You're right on time, Pamela. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. This is amazing. Okay, I want to make sure I jump right in to this is forcing me. You want to talk about be consistent for me to like. I don't know if you're hearing what I'm hearing, but to focus on what's going on here and not focus on what the craziness around my house is definitely going to challenge me and show how I can be consistent even in the midst of life happening, which is exactly what we're talking about. So, and I'm just laughing because of how crazy it is and how appropriate it is that they're working on my house right now. Okay, so today's lesson, if it hasn't come to your email, well, it should have come to your email. Check your email. We've talked about the last 5 days, 4 days. We started with engaging your creative emotions. Okay, we started with that. We started with connecting the dots between why you do what you do, how you feel when you do it, and then making sure that is like your starting point so that you don't have those demotivating moments When you're like, I don't want to practice, I don't want to sing, I don't want to dance, I don't want to draw, I don't want to write. You have something in front of you that reminds you this is not about the way I feel now, it's the way I'll feel later. Okay, the emotional payoff. You're making the emotional payoff. Then after that, we talked about eliminating your destructive distractions. And the way we did that is that we create a distraction plan so that since you know what your go tos are, since you know how you tend um, to allow this desire for certainty, this desire that you want to be in control. We creatives, we want to be in control. The whole point of us creating is that we want to be in control. So this desire to control, what we do is we go create a plan to keep us from feeling that desire. Okay, or actually make that desire work in our favor. So instead of controlling by going onto Twitter or Facebook to kind of get away from things, instead I control that I will have this app turned off from 2 to 3. I'll have this particular thing where my phone rings every time, or I'll tell people, hey, please don't call me between the hours of 6 and 7. This is my deep thinking where I work on my writing. Like whatever it is, you eliminate the distractions in advance. That's the key. Eliminate the distractions in advance. Then, yesterday, we talked about enhancing your environment. I just mentioned again in my studio here where it is very distracting sometimes because I feel like I need to clean up, but I can enhance my environment. And one of the things that enhances my environment, you just saw it, my ability to quickly switch up, go from my desktop to my phone. Why is that available? Because it is set up so that in any way, shape, or form, I can still do what I do. My environment is conducive to being productive. Now, there's some things I can change, and that's what you want to do with your environment. What in your environment helps you create? What in your environment inhibits your creative life? What can you do to make it more of a smooth, frictionless connection between what you do and the things that you are doing? So that is where we're at. That's day 1, day 2, and day 3. Okay? Now we're at day 4. So day 4, we're almost to the end, but this is one of the most important days. All the days are important, but this one is definitely important. Okay, so Pamela, since you're starting with us from day 4, um, you want to definitely go back and get the rest of these. But this is a definitely you picked a good day to join us, and anybody else that's joining us today. So now we're going to talk about this elevating your creative efficiency. If you saw the email come in already, it's already in your inbox if you joined us before 7 o'clock. Okay. This lesson is probably the most controversial of all the lessons. It's the one that, if you looked at it on its face, you would say that's actually counterproductive. It's weird to say this in a class about creative productivity, in a course about creative productivity, that something sounds counterproductive, but this does not sound like something that this lesson. Every time I do this lesson, I feel like, all right, am I on the right track here? Because this just doesn't sound. It feels wrong. When I say it feels wrong, the reason it feels wrong is because we've been taught for years that the only way to achieve big things is to do big things. For years, you've been taught that go big or go home. You gotta like do all these amazing things, and you gotta like bite the biggest piece off. You gotta attack the thing that is the biggest, and all of that sounds good until you've reached those moments that you want to do something amazing and you feel like it's too daunting and you feel like there's too much and you quit early because you had too much resistance from this huge task that you were going to take on. You want to write a book, so you start by saying, I'm going to write 10 chapters a day until I'm done. Or you want to write out, create a new musical or play or whatever, and you say, I'm going to have this play done by next month. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to get it done. and then you don't. And life gets in the way. Your motivation suffers. You feel like you made zero progress because you tried to bite off this big chunk. And then social media, I'm going to get 1,000 followers. And you get like two. And you feel like, okay, what's the point? So, this idea of elevating your creative efficiency starts with us saying, hey, maybe it's not the big splash that makes the biggest difference. Maybe the key to success over time and being consistent are the little things that don't feel like they mean anything at all. Maybe it's just the one person that joined. Maybe it's the one comment. Maybe it's the one time that somebody streamed our song. Maybe it's those little insignificant, inconsequential moments that create a groundswell of success for your creative life. And again, this sounds counterintuitive. It's almost like I'm telling you the smaller something is, the bigger it is. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I am going against all of those folks that say you have to go big, that your efficiency is not important, that you got to have this huge audience, you got to have this huge connection. If this is making sense, if you've heard before, if you've thought before that you have to go big, that being a not just consistent creative, but being a productive creative means you got to go big, that that this hustle and grind and make every minute count and like all that, like have you heard that mentality? Put that in the comments if you have been either told or felt that that these little one follower, two followers, one stream, two streams, one creative act, one little thing is like, that's, you feel like that's inconsequential because you've been told that you got to have these big shifts, these big moments, these big things on Instagram. Like, have you ever felt that way? Because if so, you're not alone. But what this lesson will teach you is that, and this is the phrase, I want to make sure I say it right, because even as I say it out loud, it's important to say it exactly as it is. It is that consistent work over time is better than a huge splash one time. Consistent work over time. I said it different in the email. I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, yes, you've heard that. Thank you for that, Pamela. So the struggle is, I think I used in the email, I think I used in the lesson, I think I talk about the Statue of Liberty and how it was built piece by piece. And it was literally sailed over piece by piece. And they had to build it, I believe, in France and then unbuild it and then rebuild it over here. And so, like, that painstaking process, which of course is now a symbol that everybody knows in America, was probably laughed at some point. I could think of Noah and the Ark, I could think of all these other things where inconsequential, insignificant motion over time probably felt like failure. The actual act of creating something amazing feels each day like a failure because you move so little that you don't feel like anything's happening. And to change this mindset, the goal and the goal of this lesson is to set new kinds of goals. The goal of this lesson is to elevate your creative efficiency by making those micro goals the main goal. You only have control over what you can control. You don't control how certain people respond to your work. You don't have control over the algorithms. You don't have control over ticket sales. You don't have control over streaming. None of that. So this Elevate Your Creative Efficiency lesson is, again, counterintuitive. But when you read it, you'll understand. What you want to do is, excuse me, sorry about that. what you want to do is get right into the smallest possible incremental change and goal and set that as your daily goal. Again, if you guys want to check out Atomic Habits, this is where this concept like really kind of took root, but it was already in my head, and it's, I used a lot of other materials to kind of start to figure this out. So, what would life look like if you had the smallest goal and you were able to accomplish that goal every day? So, instead of 500 words, what if your goal was 50 words? And you're like, well, that's too easy. Exactly. It's too easy. I'm a piano teacher by trade. I'm a pianist and I taught piano forever. Um, I always told parents, don't tell your kids to practice 30 minutes. Tell them to practice 5. And like 5 minutes, that makes no sense. Why would I teach them 5 minutes? They can't do anything 5 minutes. Exactly. It's so easy, they'll do it. It's so easy that they can't like argue with you because like 5 minutes, I got that. Okay, I do 5 minutes. And what it does is it sets up this creative and consistent work just fits. Like I can do that. I can put this into the smallest level and it teaches your brain and your life orients itself to getting this done. Why is this true? Because, like I said in the book Atomic Habits, it says this quote, which is extremely applicable to us creatives: a habit cannot be improved until it is established. You can't improve on the habit of writing if you're not writing every day. And you're not writing every day because you're trying to write too much every day. So if you simply say, I'm just going to write 10 words a day, and it becomes such a tiny, tiny goal that is like ridiculously easy to achieve, it is also ridiculously easy to go from 10 to 20. And it's ridiculously easy to go from 20 to 30. And it's ridiculously easy to go from 30 to 50. And the goal setting becomes so much simpler because now I'm not trying to beat this main magic goal that's huge. I'm literally just trying to make the smallest goal and just stop there. And this is the hard part. A lot of you will start this and then you'll get really big. Because like I can do this, I can do one, I can do 100. And you gotta fight that. Keep your goals in terms of incremental small. You can have big long-term goals, but your short-term goals should be tiny. And if this is making sense, let me know because this is where this lesson again is going to kind of hit a little. It's going to feel a little weird. It's going to feel like for high achievers, it's going to feel like I'm not aiming high enough. But again, starting with consistency means you have to start with action, and the action that reduces friction gets you moving on to a state of flow faster. So again, sounds like you're asking too little of yourself, then that's the goal. Set a goal that is small so that it's so easy to reach that you really can't help but increase it. Like you only increase it a little bit at a time. As you know, people that lift weights, things like that, you know this. So if this is helping you, let me know in the chat who is going to take on this challenge of elevating your creative efficiency by being more efficient by cutting down on the amount of tasks you do, the amount of work you do. Maybe you're thinking about, like I do, maybe you're thinking about, lost train of thought. What's the name of it? What is it when you have somebody else working for you? Outsourcing. Maybe you're thinking about outsourcing, which means now you're letting somebody else do the work for you. It's kind of like the same thing. You're elevating your efficiency to do more with less by making sure that you set things, parameters that make it easy for you to create more. And as you get into the daily habit, that more will be more. You'll start from a different place and you'll get to a different place, But you have to start with these small, tiny, 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 tiny goals that don't feel like you're really getting anything done. That is the name of the game for elevate your creative efficiency. Okay? So you can find that in your inbox. Should have already been sent. I actually want to go back and check. I'm on the phone, so actually I can check this now. Normally I can't do this without messing up stuff, but I think I can check and make sure everything went out. If you have any questions, by the way, remember now. Oh, I do have an announcement before we jump off. Okay, 5:30 is usually our time to go live in the afternoon. However, with all the issues we've been having with connectivity and things like that, and I will be actually at a performance at that time. I said, you know what? Let me not tempt. If we've already been having some issues with connecting and stuff, let me just do it simple. Let's just go a little later. Let's do maybe a 6:30. Be 6:30 more like. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I got to figure out what my afternoon live will be because it's just got to fit in the right time. I want to make sure I have good connectivity since we've had so many issues. So give me a second to make sure I get the right time. Look for your emails. I'll send out that notice when the afternoon check-in will happen. I'm just not sure right now because it's right in that window of 3 to 6. But I want to make sure that you guys have a second chance. If you're watching this from replay and you're like, oh, I wanted to ask a question live, just check in. I'll let you know. Look at your emails. I'll let you know right away when we decide to go live. Okay, tonight. Now, tomorrow is our last day. So once you've gotten your lesson, you've elevated your creative efficiency, you've got your smallest goal, you've done the worksheet. Tomorrow, I know Saturday. Normally, we don't do this on Saturdays, but it fit this week. 2 reasons. One, because of the holiday, but two, because I like the idea of us finishing on a Saturday, a day that normally we rest. And don't worry, tomorrow's exercise is not going to be what you expect. But tomorrow we'll actually lock all this together. Tomorrow we'll talk about how you can keep this momentum going. You've done so many amazing things. You've elevated your efficiency. You've dealt with your emotions. You've eliminated distractions. And then you actually sit down and enhance your environment. So tomorrow we're going to tell you how you can keep this going, including, again, the offer to join our group. Okay? So I really would love to have more of you continue to stay with us, and you'll see why and how tomorrow on the live stream. So you want to be there for that. Okay? All right. If there are any questions about the assignment, this would be the time to ask. One question I sometimes get when it comes to elevating your creative efficiency is, do all of my goals have to be about the same thing? Do I have to have all of my goals about I'm a musician, or all my goals are social media, or all my goals are marketing, or all my goals are whatever? No, they don't have to be about the same thing, but you got to follow the same concept. So maybe you got different goals and you want to set up a bunch of different little mileposts. But if it's like me in podcasting, I have different podcast goals than I have for music goals, but they each have to be incremental and small. So you got to think of, what can I do to make these goals small, achievable, and repeatable? Okay, they have to be repeatable. You have to be able to do that over and over again, which means you got to make them where it's not too complicated. Okay, don't make it complicated. Make it simple. Make something you can repeat. Make it something that gives you joy and reminds you that you are on the right track each time you do it. All right, my friends, that is our check-in for today. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you for joining the challenge. If you're watching on replay, put your questions or any other comments in the comment box. I will find them. I will answer them throughout the day. In the Facebook group, we also have the challenge chat room. You can go over there to the chat room. You can go discuss things about what you're trying to do, how you're elevating your efficiency, things about the lesson today, what you liked, what you didn't like. Give me feedback. Let me know what is helping you. It means the world to me that you're here. It means the world to me that you're connecting with us. This is really awesome. And we fought through all the technical issues, and there's no more lawnmowers outside my house. So we survived the great lawnmower slash connection apocalypse. I'm going to have to find a way to get that connected better. I was so frustrated. But anyway, we're here. We got it done. There was only like a couple of minutes at the beginning that looked like craziness was happening, and we got on from there. All right, Pamela, thanks for joining me. Let me see who else is here. All right, looking forward to doing the lessons. I look forward to seeing what comes out of these lessons when you do it. Okay, I am very, very, very happy to have you here. Every time I do this, I am so just inspired by the people who are putting their creative gifts first, and they're deciding, I'm going to make this consistent. I'm going to make this a part of my daily routine. And making this part of my daily routine by applying these principles makes it, again, so much more frictionless than it would have been had you not taken this challenge. All right. Thanks so much for checking in, you guys. If you're checking in throughout the day, make sure to leave your comments. God bless you. Oh, I will let you know when the afternoon session is, evening, whatever it turns out to be. And then we'll get together for day 5. So make sure you do your assignments for day 4, because it's going to help you elevate your efficiency over time. Those little small incremental changes are going to add up to something amazing. God bless you guys. All right. I'll see you in the next check-in and or day 5. All right. Get to work. Get to being consistent. God bless.